Welcome to Health Coach for Women. Intentional living for more happiness and fulfillment in your everyday life with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. Join Marsha as she shares her own personal wellness journey, as well as stories from our guests that will enlighten and inspire you to move towards better health and happiness. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Health Coach for Women. Today, I'd like to talk to you about losing the old self, getting rid of the old self. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, in order for you to be better, in order for you to be happier and to be healthier, you need to let go of the old self that's been holding you back, the old self that's been keeping you from feeling happy, finding that true happiness, right? Letting go of the old self, of the old story that you've been telling yourself. And that could be things stem from your childhood, past relationships and experiences. In order to really elevate to a higher level of wellness, right? A higher level of mental clarity, physical wellness, emotional wellness, right? Relational and spiritual and financial. We have to let go of the old self. Sometimes we hang on to the old self because it's all we know, but not realizing that there is infinite possibilities, right? Infinite possibilities await. It awaits for you if you choose to have it in your life. Those infinite possibilities of happiness, having healthy relationships, having abundance in your life. It's there for you if you choose to want it, if you choose to have it, if you truly desire it. And letting go of the old self is really peeling away those layers, right? Peeling away those layers of what you've been carrying for so long. And so one way of doing that is simply surrendering and letting go. Surrender and let go of the things that you cannot control. Let go of the things of the past that you cannot change, right? So it's the past has already happened. It's in the past. It's no longer there. Yes, there's maybe some hidden deep traumas within that's affecting who we are now. And so that's why it's important to be able to surrender and be willing to open up your heart, right? Through forgiveness, opening up your heart by loving yourself, right? And not blaming yourself for past mistakes, past experiences. Some things we could say, okay, yes, we take accountability for this, or we take accountability for this action that we have done, but things that we have not done that just happened to us, right? That we may have experienced in the past. It's not to hinder you in any way. It's not to shame you. It's not to put you in a place of unworthiness, right? And so when you think about it, when you think about yourself and who you are, if you're not loving yourself, how can you get to that place? How can you get to that place? And one of the ways of doing that is just learning to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself forgive others, right? And when you do that, what it does is opens up your heart. And by opening up your heart, you develop a new perspective, a new awareness. And so that's why it's so important to be able to do that. Once you are truly able to forgive, whether it's yourself or someone else, your heart begins to open. And you forgive without expecting anything back in return, right? With no expectations whatsoever. And so it's so important to be able to forgive yourself, right? And forgive others and not have any expectations, but to love yourself truly and to love who you are and where you are in the present moment. And I always talk about that and how important that is, because you can be going through some really trying times, right? And some challenging times, and you just don't know how to deal with it. And so when you just don't know how to deal with it, you surrender it and let it go. You surrender it, you let it go, and you say, I'm okay. And even if you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay. Because sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're not okay. And when you feel like that, it's so important to have, a support system. It's so important to have, someone maybe in your sisterhood, your circle, your friend, therapist, whoever it is that you trust and you're okay with confiding in, to discuss those things. Because sometimes, you can feel alone and you can feel like there's no one there. But trust me, there's someone there willing to listen. All right, and I always talk about, even you see on my Instagram, I have the crisis text line when you're feeling down or you're feeling suicidal or you're feeling just not your best and you need someone to talk to. The crisis text line is there. Of course, there's several others, right? But that's one that I have listed there, the crisis text line. But you really have to let go of the old self, because what it does is keep you stuck. Holding on to the old self only keeps you stuck. And it keeps you from getting that mental clarity, right? It keeps you from having that true happiness that you deserve, that true love that you desire for yourself, that true happiness, that true fulfillment. So we have to be willing to let go. And, I always talk about deep breathing and meditating and just, another thing you could do is just writing yourself a love letter, writing yourself a letter, all the things that you love about yourself, and or even writing a letter to the person. I think I've mentioned that before as well. Writing a letter to the person who you feel wronged you, who you feel, violated you, or, for yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. And true healing comes when you can really look at yourself and accept, who you are and say, this is what happened to me, but I'm no longer holding on to that. I'm no longer holding on to that old story. This is what I experienced. I'm choosing not to be in that place. I'm choosing not to be in a place of unhappiness. I choose to be happy. And it doesn't come from you looking for it in someone else. It comes totally from you. And that happiness that you feel or that you seek, it has to come from you. It has to come from within. And that's by loving yourself unconditionally, even with flaws, even with your imperfections, right? Because again, none of us is perfect, right? We all have flaws. We all have imperfections. That's why we're human. So don't be ashamed of who you are and where you are right now. Some of you may be in a good place, and that's great. Some of you may not, but it doesn't mean you can't get there. It doesn't mean you can't get to that place. Let go of the old self. Let go of the old self by surrendering and step into a new version of you by being more mindful of your thoughts, right? That's one of the ways, being more mindful of how you think, because it plays a part in all parts of, the mind and body is not separate. They work together. So we have to focus, there's thoughts, and everything is energy, and you have to remember that when you put out a thought out there, whatever you focus on, you bring more to you. What you focus on, you bring more to you. So if you're focusing on the things you don't want, you're only going to attract more of what you don't want. So focus on things that you do want, right? Focus on those things. You want better health, focus on getting better, right? See yourself and feel yourself getting better. Feel yourself in that new body of being healthier. Feel yourself of having lower blood pressure, right? Lowering your blood pressure. Feel that again, also experiencing that with that feeling of feeling that and having that, putting that intention out there. You have to do your part also if you want good health, right? And so we can feel it. We can feel it and want it and put that intention out there, but we also need to do the part that we need to do is by eating healthier, making healthier choices, eating better foods, right? Eating more alkaline foods, more greens, more vegetables, less sodium foods, right? So if we want to do that, if we want to have this healthier, happier life and have more abundance, right? Focus more on the things that you want rather than what you don't want. It's so important of when you realize, when you let go of the old you, right? Letting go of that old self, it brings a new vision to your life, a new experience, a new vision, right, for yourself, and being in a better place than where you were before. And so it's so important that we pay attention to the things that we think of, the things that we focus on, the things that we put our mind on, the things that we listen to every day, right? The people that we're around. It's so important to surround yourself with positive people. I can't stress that enough. It's so important to be around positive, uplifting people, be around people who love and support you. Forget about the news, stop listening to the news so much and seeing how many cases, the increase of the cases of the coronavirus, stop watching those things. Stop being in fear, stop living in fear. And when you realize that love is the highest frequency, love is the highest and the ultimate, it's the ultimate experience. And having that, first you have to have that within yourself. And that's where, again, that forgiveness comes in, right? And letting go of that old self, right? And noticing your thoughts, noticing the things that you are thinking about. And we have to set these intentions and really put our mind on being intentional, right? And so that's what I talk about when I'm saying intentional living. It's so important that we focus on the important things, the things that's going to lift us up, the things that's going to bring us joy, the things that's going to satisfy us. And it comes with loving thyself first. So you have to love yourself first. I can't stress that enough, how important that is to really love who you are, right? And it can be a slow process, you know, but change, again, from a few episodes, change is the only constant. If we're not changing, we're stagnant. We're not doing anything. So we have to always, be changing, always be changing and willing to learn and grow and develop, right? As this being, as this person with this that's experiencing this. And remember, our soul knows, right? Our soul knows, that true desire, that we want. Sometimes we may not know exactly just what it is, but the soul knows. And that's why it's so important of shedding the layers of the old self, shedding those layers of everything from the past that's not serving you, right? We'll be moving into 2021. Let's leave the baggage. Let's drop the baggage. Let's leave that at the door. Forget about it and move forward, right? Forget about that person who, may have cheated on you. Forget about that person who lied to you. Okay, forget about the person who, did something wrong to you, who you feel may have done something wrong to you. Forget about that. Or even the things that you feel that you've done wrong to yourself, right? And so sometimes we've done things that we may have done, we felt we've done wrong to ourselves by making bad choices. And so it's just a learning experience. It's just a learning process. And we learn from it. We learn from our past mistakes. We learn from those mistakes and we move forward. There's no judgment in anything that you may have done from the past. There's no judgment, right? And so don't judge yourself harshly on the things from your past, or even your current situation that you may be in now. We take a look at it. We analyze the situation. Okay, this is what it is, and we take from it what we need to take, and we learn from it, and we move forward. Because the only thing that matters is the present moment. The things from the past is no longer, they're the past. The things in the future, they're not of a concern, simply because they're in the future. And our focus is not to worry about the future. When I say it's okay to have an intention of the things that you want, and you're seeing yourself as already having it, as if it's already there, because the abundance is already there for you. You just have to see it in your mind and feel the experience in your body and with the emotions, and feel it and know that it's there for you already. But let's not worry about the future, right? Let's not worry about the future of things that we don't know. We can only focus on right now. Right now is the only thing that matters. So letting go of the old self, right? Letting go of the old self brings new awareness, new perspective, new outlook, a new vision, a new you, right? Not this perfect you, but a new you, a better you. Because as we continue to live life, as we continue to experience everything in life that we experience, whether it's a positive interaction or a negative interaction, right? It affects us in some way. In some way, it affects us, right? But when we look at things from a different perspective, with everything being more, I would say, from a positive lens, a positive perspective, it gives a different outlook. And you're no longer pessimistic, you're optimistic with things. And so that's how you have to see life, because life is a journey. And everything through this journey, through this thing that we call life, is just a learning process. Things that we need to learn. things that we need to experience. Again, whatever life lesson that you have to learn and experience, well, some of those things you may be repeating again because you haven't learned the lesson. So I want to go back to saying, letting go of the old self, forgiving, right? Forgiveness, loving yourself, loving yourself 100% unconditionally, even with the flaws, loving yourself totally, and being open to new possibilities, right? Being open to new possibilities of what if, right? Not focusing on the negative things, the negative aspects of life, and focusing on why, or wondering why does this have to happen to me? Or, take it as a teaching moment and know that you're strong enough to recover from anything. You're strong enough. If you wasn't strong enough, you wouldn't be here. So know that you're strong enough. You're good enough. You are worthy. I don't care what anyone else has told you. You are worthy and you are good enough. And there could be some people here that's listening in right now who's over 40, 50, 60, and still may be carrying baggage, still carrying things from the past. Sister, you're worthy. You're good enough. Okay? You're good enough. You are this gift from the Creator, and you are supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here, and there's a purpose, there's a calling for you. Whatever it is, it will come and reveal. It will be revealed to you when it's time to be revealed to you. And so we may not have the answers to every single thing right away. We don't always have those answers, but it comes to you in the stillness, right? It comes to you in the stillness when you can be still and focus your intention on being loving, right? Being loving and kind, loving yourself, being expressive and loving to others, right? And accepting your imperfections and always striving to be better. We strive to be better, right? It's not about perfect. We strive to be better and to do better. And again, letting go of that old self, expressing gratitude, right? Expressing gratitude, saying thank you, being open to receive. Once you open your heart, when you can truly open your heart, oh my gosh, there is so much endless possibilities, infinite possibilities, abundance, the abundance that this world has for you, that this life has for you, the abundance for you right now. It's there. It's there. It's already there. It's already there. You just have to know that it's already there and believe it. And if you want to get better in your health, take action doing the things that you need to do for your health, right? Take action, practice your deep breathing, practice your meditation, practice your exercise, your movement, practice eating better, eating healthier foods, right? Just simple, small things. Eating better, taking your supplements, right? Being connected, right? Sharing, being around other like-minded individuals like yourself, right? Positive, surrounding yourself in a positive environment with positive people. And there's so much to learn. There's so much to know. There's so much that we can learn from this thing called life. And it's truly amazing. Every day I'm learning. Every day I'm learning something new. And I'm just truly blessed for this moment, for this gift of life. I'm blessed. And learn to be blessed. Learn to be grateful, right? You may not have everything you want, and that's fine right now. You have everything you need right now, and that's what's important. The things that you want can come. It's not impossible. The things that you want can come, right? But again, it comes from being grateful for the things you already have and setting your intentions for the things that you want and taking action. You have to put action behind the things you want as well. So as we move into 2021, let's focus on getting, the whole self in harmony. Our whole selves, our mind, body, spirit, relational, financial, emotional, and being able to manage our emotions, right? Sometimes it's hard, but we can find a way to manage our emotions and channel our energy. When we're feeling anger and hurt, we got to find ways to do that in a more positive way so that we are not putting ourselves in a situation where we are doing damage and causing stress in our body, right? In our bodies, because we know that stress is a silent killer. And when we're dealing with things such as stress and hurt and pain and illness, right? There's things happening in the body, right? The immune system is low. And with that immune system being low, illness can come over, disease, and can come and take over the body and take the body out of homeostasis, out of that harmony, right? Out of that balance. So let's be mindful as we go into 2021 of our thoughts, the things we do, the things we say, what we hold on to, what we choose to not hold on to, but going into 2021 with a better perspective and just operating more from a place of love. Let's go into 2021 in operating from a place of love and not fear, and letting go of the old self, shedding the layers of the old self and stepping into the new 2021, the new version of you, the new better version of you into 2021. That is all I have for you for today on this episode. I thank you so much for tuning in. Just know I love and appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And I will speak to you again on the next episode. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Health Coach for Women with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate that effort. Until next time.